Welcome to Stella Tours and our wonderful Azamara Club Cruise, including the ports of Lisbon, Portimao, Sevilla, Gibraltar, Palma Mallorca, Mahon Menorca, and Barcelona. Robin, John, Stella, and I arrived in Lisbon a couple of days before the cruise to enjoy this beautiful city and tour the Palacio Nacional da Pena, a spectacular castle located on a hilltop about 15 miles northwest of Lisbon. The Palacio Nacional da Pena is only one of several palaces in Sintra, the most eclectic, combining elements of Egyptian, Moorish, Gothic, and Renaissance architectural elements. It was from this palace that King Manuel II would be forced into exile on the 5th of October 1910, ending nearly 900 years of Portuguese monarchy. We only had time to see one of the palaces located around Sintra, and the Palacio Nacional da Pena is definitely the one to see if you have limited time. The next morning we toured Jeronimos Monastery, one of the most prominent examples of the Portuguese late Gothic Manueline style of architecture in Lisbon. It's classified as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The existing structure was inaugurated on the orders of King Manuel I in 1495 as a final resting place for the members of the House of Aviz, in his belief that an Iberian dynastic kingdom would rule after his death in 1496. The actual construction of the monastery and church began on January 6, 1501, and was completed 100 years later.
Girls are inside buying pastries, even though we had about, 10 nachos this morning. But that's how they roll. Bob and I are now on a strict diet. We're going to try to lose 5 pounds on this cruise.
After our stop at Pastéis de Belém, we took the tram to the Praça do Comércio. Fado is a traditional style of Portuguese music traceable back to the 1820s. We were treated to a wonderful show culminating with a performance by the Queen of Fado, Maria Amélia Proença.
You're not lying. We are. We're going to eat a lot and drink a lot. Right, Johnny?
Don't we always?
The following morning, we boarded the Azamara Club Cruises ship, Azamara Journey, for our 8-day excursion of ports of call in Portugal and Spain, and also a stop in Gibraltar. Our suite was spacious and well appointed with a large balcony and even a bathtub. The ship has a maximum passenger capacity of 694 and a crew of 390. It was to be our floating luxury hotel for the next 8 nights. One of the advantages of cruising on a small ship is their ability to access ports large ships can't. As we travel, you will experience this advantage in our video. Our departure port of Lisbon is located on the Tagus River that flows to the Atlantic Ocean just a few miles from the city. A perfect day provided us with spectacular views as we pulled away and steamed to sea. Portimao Portugal would be our first port of call. A perfect example of the advantage of sailing on a small ship, Portimao is located on the Arade River, 2 miles from the Atlantic. We did some sightseeing in Portimao and then decided to take a water taxi to Faragudo on the other side of the river for a wonderful lunch of local seafood, including traditional grilled sardines and cod.
Bom dia, senhor.
Bom dia, senhor. Tudo bem?
Tudo bem?
Tudo bem. My name is Renato.
Renato!
Yeah.
That evening we were treated to a spectacular sunset as we departed Portimao. We enjoyed a superb supper at Prime Sea Restaurant and a nightcap while enjoying entertainment aboard the Azamara Journey. Sevilla Spain would be our next port of call. Another example of small ship cruising, the Azamara Journey is one of the few ships that can access the port of Sevilla. And to do so, the ship will travel up the Guadalquivir River about 52 miles, passing the Esclusa de Sevilla lock,
One of the most interesting parts of this particular cruise is the fact that we're going to back in to the port in Sevilla through a tiny little opening in the Guadalquivir River. So we're really excited about that.
Doing a 360-degree turn and then backing through the Puente de las Delicias drawbridge before docking right next to downtown Sevilla. An amazing experience of perfect seamanship. Sevilla is one of our favorite cities in the world. It transmits such a warm old world charm that makes it irresistible for us. We walked from the ship to the Plaza de España and then on to the cathedral, taking in some of the sights of places we most cherish. We simply can never tire of Sevilla.
Alfonso 13 Hotel. It's where the King of Spain stays. We just had a wonderful breakfast here. It was delicious.
A rare summer hailstorm on the outskirts of Sevilla heading towards the Atlantic Ocean on the Guadalquivir River. Look at this.
That evening we enjoyed a wonderful dinner and took in a show at the Cabaret Lounge. Gibraltar would be our next stop. We'd pre-purchased tickets for the Top of the Rock cable car and headed out early so we could beat the crowds. There are only 2 cars on the line, so queues can be quite long for those getting there later. There are about 160 Barbary macaques at the top of the rock during the summer months, and they head down to town during winter where it's warmer and more food can be found. They can be quite aggressive, and Robin became a target as one jumped on her back and tried to get into her backpack. The top of the rock provided spectacular panoramas of the port, Spain, and even to Morocco 16 miles across the Strait of Gibraltar to the southwest. Looking toward Africa, one gets the feeling of the millions of untold stories of conquest and commerce as ships sail the Mediterranean Sea through these waters for thousands of years.
You didn't get I got jumped by that monkey.
Got jumped by a monkey?
I did. You should have got that on film.
Gibraltar is considered a British overseas territory. We happened to be there the day before Gibraltar National Holiday, and the town was decked out with British and Gibraltar flags in anticipation of the celebration. On every cruise, Azamara Club Cruises has a special event called Azamara As Amazing Night. Ours took us back to the Rock, inside St. Michael's Cave for hors d'oeuvres, wine, and music. Following Gibraltar was a day at sea. Pool deck time, good company, rest, and a few adult beverages. Palma Mallorca, Spain would be our next port. Located 160 miles due east of Valencia, Palma Mallorca is considered the playground of the European elite. We were treated to a spectacular sunrise as we docked and headed out to get to know the city. The Basilica of St. Mary of Majorca is the main attraction in Palma. More commonly referred to as La Seu, the cathedral is designed in the Catalan Gothic style, but with Northern European influences. It was begun by King James I of Aragon in 1229, but only finished in 1601. La Seu is one of the top 5 Catholic cathedrals in the world, in good company with St. Peter's in Rome, the Cathedral of Sevilla, Notre Dame in Paris, the Cathedral of Florence, Italy, and the Sagrada Familia of Barcelona.
Palma, John?
I like Palma quite a bit, actually. I could see myself residing here in about 10 years.
One of your mega yachts?
Not a yacht. I think I'll go for a little villa up in the hills. Be sufficient. It's a very nice place, very clean. A lot of restaurants, a lot of action. I'm impressed with this place. A lot of history. We went through the cathedral today, which is absolutely fantastic. And other than that, we walked about 24 miles in search of, I don't know what, the girls were shopping, you know. But Bob and I did find an opportunity to take a break and have a couple of beers.
Leaving the Basilica, we strolled Palma and made our way back to the ship to rest up for Azamara White Night.
Okay, we're getting ready for White Nights. It's going to be fun.
Azamara Club Cruises has a party called White Night on every voyage, and it's quite the bash.
I am Sheikh Abu bin drinking. This is holy water from Mecca.
Good evening, welcome to White Night. Welcome to Pool Bar. I enjoy with your friends, sir. I enjoy with you, sir. I enjoy, sir.
Mario is the guy in charge of this wonderful event food-wise. And we have how many plates here?
How many?
How many plates do we have?
Plates. It's about 420 seats.
426 different tastes aboard Azamara White Nights.
Everything is from, we went out, locally purchased fish, as you can see, lots of cheese, lots of cold cuts, chef prepare beautiful live cooking stations from the mussels, vongoles to paella.
Look at this wonderful paella.
Look at this.
Well, thank you, Mario. This is a fantastic event you're going to have tonight.
And you have beautiful setting around the pool. We're going to be show with our Danny, cruise director, and the cast. Gonna make fantastic evening for you.
Great. Thank you.
What a great time we had eating fresh, locally caught seafood and dancing the night away under beautiful Palma skies.
Here's to
La vida loca.
La Vida Rica.
La vida
La Vida
rica.
Loca, La Vida Rica. We're having a good time. We're with two beautiful women here, and we are on Azamara Club Cruises, right?
The Azamara Journey. We've had a great time. The sights have been terrific. All the ports excellent. The food, what can you say about the food?
Man, the
Bobby?
food's been great.
It's awesome.
The food's been awesome.
I've already put on 4 pounds. That's testament to how good it is.
That's in Testament?
Testament.
In Testament.
That's a testament.
A Testament and an in Testament. So, we've been all over the place, right?
Yes, we have.
We started off in Portugal. Then we went to Spain, Sevilla. We went up the channel, up the river, Guadalquivir River, and we went through the gates. They lifted the bridge for us. Then we went to where?
Then we went to Portimao.
Oh no, that was before.
That was before. Oh, Sevilla. Sorry.
Then we went to where?
Sevilla. We've been to.
Come on, the Rock Man, Gibraltar.
Of course, the Gibraltar. How can I forget about Gibraltar?
Right.
That was epic. That was where a monkey jumped on Robin's back, tried to steal goods out of her backpack.
So she's got a monkey in her back for
Yeah.
a while now.
She finally got it off. She finally got the monkey
Oh,
off her
thank
back.
God. Yeah, she got the monkey up her back. So
She
everything's
did.
gonna be good for her.
She's fine now. I think
After that, we had a day at sea.
we
We
did.
just hung out, we rested, we laid out by the pool
Yep.
here. It's a wonderful place to be.
We rested, we drank, we ate, we rested.
Here's to you. We're signing off now.
Here's to you.
And Azamara White Nights.
Let the party continue.
Amen, brother.
Well, I hope you've had a good day here in Majorca. A little bit breezy, and it's gonna get breezier. So, for tomorrow. And today I've been talking to Miami and discussing with them. It's gonna be very windy tomorrow, so we'll see. We may not make some changes, but if we do, we will inform you as soon as we can. So, but the weather from tomorrow is adjusting wind 35, 40 knots. We have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Come on. I got my sister. We all family. Yeah, everybody sing. We all family. I got my sister.
All those that are sitting down, let's see both those hands in the air and sway them to side to side. Here we go. We'll do about 12 more choruses and then we'll stop there. I'll just sample. Let me out of your camera, let me out! Sing that same chorus.
You gotta swing your hips now. Come on, jump up, jump back.
I like it! Alright, everybody breathe in. We might have to sit them all up before.
So we're making a stop in Menorca because we can't get into Valencia because the winds are really high. And we're going to spend the day here. Don't know what there is to do, but we'll figure something out. Arriving Mahon Mallorca was beautiful. Passing through the bay provided wonderful scenes of this quaint town with its Mediterranean white and yellow houses on the north side of one of the deepest ports in the Mediterranean Sea. The main village of Mahon sits atop a bluff that looks down on the port, and we decided to take the scenic tour on a tram up to the top. The Mahon fish market is unbelievable. An incredible assortment of fresh, locally caught seafood that made my mouth water. And not only do they have seafood, but a great selection of sandwiches and refreshments. Buy your fish on the seafood side and they'll prepare it for you in their kitchen. Wonderful. We wanted to eat at the fish market, but the place was so jammed we would have had a long wait. So we explored the plaza and settled for a little place near the church for some snacks and drinks. Early that evening, the Azamara Journey had an amazing chocolate reception. Quite dangerous.
And the salted chocolate truffle bar.
We thoroughly enjoyed our unplanned visit to Mahon. The last full day on our Azamara cruise was spent in the fabulous city of Barcelona. Arriving port, we were treated to another epic sunrise over the Mediterranean Sea. A walk along Las Ramblas took us to the city tour bus stop for a 2-hour ride in a double-decker bus around the city. and passing by the Sagrada Familia Cathedral, Antoni Gaudi's master creation. Later, we would tour the cathedral. It was breathtaking to see the outside structure give way to the inside of this incredible architectural wonder. The imagination of the human mind is quite awe-inspiring. As we head home from this wonderful journey, we think of how fortunate we are to spend such special moments exploring the world, and how it's even made more special to be experienced with such great friends. Of course, special thanks to Stella for her planning another exceptional vacation experience.